All right, Martin. We sat here a couple of times throughout the last few weeks talking about Kevin Durant. It actually goes back a couple months back when Phoenix Suns was like, get out. He was like, no. They said, get out. He was like, no, and wanted to stick around. He and Bradley Beal. What is so great about Phoenix that they just wanted to stick around, especially Bradley Beal.
You know, people from Los Angeles, where do they go?
They are Arizona
they
or
all moved to
Nevada.
Arizona or Nevada.
Yep.
So there you go. I don't know. Whatever it is they got going over
Bradley Beal, let me tell you something. It's one thing if you feel like, man, things are – let's say this is where I've been 6, 7, 8 years. You're like, no, man, y'all know I'm just getting – I leave when I want to. I put my blood, sweat, and tears here. I've been here. If it was Devin Booker, right, he kind of has earned that, you would say, with Phoenix. Man, Bradley Beal, bro, if I'm not wanted and I can go somewhere else, maybe hop on a contending type of a team, all right, fine.
See,
for some reason, he just wants to hold it down there. I don't know if the family – he found a good school.
That's what it is. You got the wrong concept. Brad Beal knows what time it is. He knows, look, if I get traded somewhere, somebody might make the mistake again of thinking that I'm going to be a player that impacts winning at a high level. And then they're going to just talk about me. Right now, all they talk about is how they can't trade me.
Mm-hmm.
Then they're going to start talking about how I actually play.
The gameplay itself?
Then they're going to start talking about how I actually play.
Yeah.
You know, I got to go outside. You know, he's still got to be out there in the world. You know, in Phoenix, it's so doggone hot. Maybe that's another thing. He stays inside all day because it's so doggone hot.
Maybe you're right. Maybe he don't want to leave. All I know is now it makes it interesting what they're going to do because now they have, I call him Bradley Beal Light in Jalen Green. I mean, they got rid of KD. And, of course, we got the KD going to Houston. I said for a few times that we had these conversations, Bart, and I told Rob that I said I think Houston was the best place, the best landing spot for KD for multiple reasons. Those guys are crazy athletic, good defensively. They already have the post game with Şengün, and obviously they got Fred VanVleet, the consummate professional pro, kind of, you know, the leader, point guard, and pieces around that. Amin Thompson looks like he's going to be incredible, but they needed a guy who can get a bucket, but they needed a score, but they needed a guy, all right, fourth quarter, close this thing on out and win this game for us. And I thought Kevin Durant was perfect, and because KD has proven not to be a leader. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I meant I'm going to do what I do, and that'll be good for the team, but I'm not necessarily going to enhance or bring the team up at this point in my career. 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago, maybe. Not the case right now, and that's okay if I have that locked in, which I do with my head coach, Fred VanVleet, and a couple other guys. So they're okay. Boom, that's where he lands. I thought it made sense from the jump. Jalen Green now is going to Phoenix. I don't know what they're going to do there with Bradley Beal Light, Booker. And you had a thought on Devin Booker with this currently still with the Suns.
I want to stick on the Kevin Durant thing first.
Yeah.
The first thing that I don't care for is the fact that it's Game 7 was yesterday. All right?
Okay.
This trade, which cannot happen until, by my quick back-of-the-napkin math, 13 days from now, is announced at this moment. Like, this was completely orchestrated. I'm seeing through it. I'm taking my tinfoil hat out, and I'm seeing through it. You put him up there with Taylor Rooks, who we know has been at the center of dang on near every viral NBA moment, and since Jaylen Brown saying he's going to win out of all them championships, right? People get in front of Taylor Rooks and say anything is how it all goes, right? Is what they say.
The 30 for 30 on that is going to be hilarious.
Right. So
what if I told you?
And you know what, Kelvin? This is the thing that really I'm a child. I was telling this to one of the people, Brandon, earlier, because he's young. He's a TikToker.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a child of the internet. I'm not a child of social media.
Mm-hmm.
So when I see something online, I'm intended to believe that it was not orchestrated. Like the viral videos that we grew up watching were videos that were clipped from the news. Right. That's what, and it was just like, can you believe what this crazy thing that happened in Oshkosh? Right. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't until I heard Kevin Durant talking with Kay Adams afterwards where I was like, oh, I ain't telling it all the way up. Started getting every frequency. Because that man said Fanatics Fest at least 5 times in his answer about getting traded to the Houston Rockets. And so that just, the whole concept is weird. Like,
You saying Michael Rubin has something to do with this?
You want to talk about what's wrong with this league? You want to talk about where's the attention? I'm telling you how boring the Oklahoma City Thunder is. And you know why? It's because for the last 10 years, the NBA's been telling you transactions and not action that happens in games. And the idea that today we have to talk about this because this is the day it was announced. And don't get me wrong, we have to talk about this. Like, we are like literally, you're a news broadcaster. There are things that you are obligated to talk about because they happened that day. Right? You may not want to talk about what happened that day, but it is the news, right? This is very much the news of the NBA, the same way that is the news of the NBA. Game 7 happened yesterday, and it's just, like, it's embarrassing to me. Like, when Aaron Rodgers, when Adam Schefter leaked the Green Bay story on Aaron Rodgers, like 6 minutes before the first pick in the draft, it was universally panned. And this should be as well, because what's the categorical change between announcing that tomorrow, 3 days ago, or right then? None. Absolutely none.
Here's why I would disagree with you, though. I think this, and then Rob was here last week, I said this. This is the new NBA. So we're talking about this series, and a lot of people, man, the juice, nobody's not that the ratings are low. This is what the NBA has become, and you could argue since the decision, where there's always something going on in the offseason now. Basketball, for the most part, especially the first, if you want to call it the glory years, as they got the Last Dance airing right now, we didn't have a lot of monumental trades or free agent signings to the tune that we have them now the last 10, 15 years. So I think the NBA now is kind of like world soccer, Major League Soccer, soccer across the world, where you got these massive players who all of a sudden go get, not to the money that they get in soccer, but, $400 deal to go play with some Saudi Arabia team, or he's going to go to Manchester United. That's kind of what we get now, where we get the finals. We enjoyed it, no matter the team. Could be the Nuggets, could have been the Celtics, could have been the Thunder. And then we go, oh, my gosh, so-and-so is going there. He's got traded or he chooses to sign there. Because you know what else we're about to be on watch on? We're going to be on Giannis watch now. Where's Giannis going to go? Right. Is he going to play? And I get what you're saying, the timing, but I think the NBA is like, they're turning into the NFL, Martin, where just talk about us. We want to be, can we be year-round? Can we get 9, 10 months? Maybe the NFL is 12 months a year.
My point exactly. You want to be the NFL? You know what you shouldn't do? Have two of your biggest headline topics happen on the same day, especially when one of them is essentially evergreen. It can happen at any point in the next 14 days. Now, just quickly on the point of the Thunder, how I think it actually worked, I love it. I think Kevin Durant, and I know that he kind of orchestrated his way into Houston.
Yeah.
I think it is a home run. We are moving into a place in the NBA where it is less and less about who is your best player and more and more about who is the worst player that you have to play. And what the Houston Rockets did essentially was trade two players that are in their starting lineups that when you watch them play, you say, wow, if they could just improve at either wing, this team would be devastating. And what did they do? They basically got moved off of the guys they don't want to play, and they are forced to play because there's nobody else there. Well, now you have Kevin Durant there. And I think that you tag him with a point guard like Van Vliet and a big man like Steven Adams, who are just going to straight do your job, lunch pail type guys, and with Thompson on the other wing, that's a problem. That will be a problem for years to come.
Dude, Amin Thompson is about to be so good in the next couple of years. I mean, his brother's going to be good too, but he seems to be a little bit more offensively savvy. This team is scary, man. And Jalen Green is one of those players. Eventually, I think it might pop for him, but it's almost weird. You mentioned when you watch him, you're like, does he know how good he is, or like how good he can be, or is he trying to figure out his role? What I do? Do I shoot? Do I get to the hole? It's like, dude, once he gets that, hopefully he gets some good coaching somewhere, whether it be Phoenix or wherever, if they mess around and do another trade or something, because the talent is there, just the raw talent. You just hope that he's been able to put it together because the skill's there, the athleticism's there. You just, to your point, we watch him and you're like, oh, he's the best. No, he's not the best player.
Look,
Sengun, oh, wait, no, it should be it's Sengun. But Jalen Green, because he'll have those nights where you're like, okay, that dude look like he can be.
Yeah, I just think it's a case of poor decision-making skills.
Oh, yeah. Well, that without a doubt, and probably life skills too.
I think it's across the board.
Yeah.